Welcome to another episode of Willing to Talk About It. I am your host, Daryl Harmon. Oh, we got something in store for you today. This is new. This is new. A lot of you probably haven't seen or heard about this next guest that I'm about to bring on, or you probably haven't even heard about what he does, okay? Or what's going on in this new phenomenon. And it kind of reminds me, for those of you like me that are in their 50s, I'm 50 by the way, you kind of remember being introduced to the sport of wrestling, right? Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Roddy Piper, and all those guys, Sheik, the Iron Sheik, or whoever, right? Well, today I'm going to introduce you to someone that is the slap fight champion of the world. Right. In this conversation, we're talking to Damien, the Bell, Dibbell. That's right. That's how they announce him. I always wanted to say that. Yeah, Damien is the heavyweight slap fight champion of the world. Damien has the highest impact power right now in slap fighting. Highest impact power, which means that when he hits you, you're going to feel something you never felt before. He also has the highest human force in the sport. 21 years old. Which means when he hits you, you're not only going to feel something you never felt before, you're probably going to wish that you don't get hit by that again. Now, for those of you who don't know about slap fighting, this is a Dana White backed sport. Okay? And today we discuss Dibbell's journey into slap fighting. We talk about his upbringing as a military child and what that was like, moving around a lot. His early experience with sports. I believe he played soccer. Damien also talks about the support of his family. He talks about the support that he receives from his family and other friends. Dibbell shares his training methods and preparation, how he prepares for fights, as well as the impact of his slap fighting career in his life. We review the most interesting part. We review some of Damien's early fights, including his fight with Frank the Tank, another slap fighter, who is responsible for one of Damien's only loss. He's only lost one time, and that loss was to Frank the Tank. Damien talks about his confidence, his self-belief, which obviously you have to have in any sport, and the lessons he has learned from other slap fighters, one of which taught him the most, and he beat him. In this conversation, Damien discusses his favorite fight, which I'm not going to give away. I'm not going to share that right now. And the life-changing moment that came with winning the title. Dibbell talks about the importance of being a good champion and the challenges of defending his title, which he's already done once. And that was an amazing fight. that was crazy. Damien shares his thoughts on the coin toss and the championship fights. Now, what you got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, is what happens is, just like most sports, well, I can't say most sports, but just like some sports, there's a coin toss. And some have said about slap fighting that the coin toss gives the advantage to whoever wins it. And Damien breaks that down. He really goes into it and breaks that down. And it makes tremendous sense. So for all of you fighters out there, you need to listen to Damien's response to what he says about winning the coin toss. All right. He gives advice for those looking to get into slap fighting. And he discusses his interests outside of the sport, which is what makes Damien that much more interesting, because he's not only physically accomplished, academically, he's also accomplished. And you'll find out more about that as well. Damien also mentions his plans, which he's already started doing for selling merchandise to build his brand, as well as my favorite part, his aspirations to write a book. And I give him some tips on how to complete that in today's episode. with no further ado, Damien, the Bell, Dibbell.
Yeah.
Welcome, Damien. How you
Thank you
been,
for having
man?
me on, man. I've been good.
Yeah,
I've been good. Just chilling after my last fight. Just training, working hard, just getting back into it.
getting back into it, and we're gonna get into that too. We're gonna get into some of the things that you do for your training. I mean, I've watched a lot of tape on you, and I just don't think I would want to get across from you. I don't know why
Yeah.
guys keep getting across from that barrel. And we're gonna talk about that. But first, Damien, let me get into your story. How did you come to getting into the slap fighting? What was it like growing up? Where you grew up? I know you were born in Hawaii, correct?
Yeah, I was actually born in Hawaii, Honolulu, because my dad was in the military. So, military brat, we moved around a lot. So I
Okay,
was in Hawaii till I was like 2. But I really grew up in Southern California. That's
okay.
where I spent most of my childhood, just bouncing around schools, I was in mostly soccer actually growing up. Like not
Oh,
even
soccer,
really,
really?
yeah, like not even
How,
really a contact sport. I just really like soccer back then.
right.
And my family never because I was also book smart growing up. So
I
my
see.
family never wanted me to be like football, boxing, none of that.
Right,
They hated all of that growing up
right,
for me.
right.
But now that I'm old enough, my brain's developed enough. They're like, man, go do whatever you want to do. So start boxing, start getting to combat sports, and then
Okay,
I was watching YouTube of slap fighting in Russia, like back when they were doing like the underground shows in Russia and
right,
like Poland and wherever it was, and I was like, man, that looks crazy. I could definitely do that. Like it looks fun, but that looks crazy. There ain't no way they're gonna let that happen in the US.
right.
And and then I
And then
kept
all of a sudden,
watching. Yeah, all of a sudden I see this league that's popped up in the US. It was actually Slap Fight Championships, like the precursor to Power Slap.
right,
And then my wife was like, if you want to do it, just like message them, do it. Like you're you're young, go try it out, see
right.
what it's like.
See what
So
it's like.
yeah, honestly, she's like 100% of the reason I'm even doing this. Like she was the one that convinced me to like take the leap and just
Right.
like take the risk to go out and do it. And I
Wow.
actually, yeah, and once I did, it's been just like a journey ever since. I got invited to Power Slap, and
Right.
it's kind of the rest has just been history, honestly.
It has been history. It has been history. Now going back a little bit to California. Now, do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have 2 little brothers from my mother, and then I actually don't know exact. I think I have like 3 little brothers
Okay.
on my dad's side. They divorced when I was young, so I have quite a bit of siblings here and there.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool. So you didn't really grow up with them in the household, tussling around and fighting
Yeah,
with your little brothers. And so you were
my
the big brother.
yeah, I was the oldest. I think I have 7 years on the middle child and like 11 on the smallest. So
Okay.
there was a huge
Yeah.
age gap between them. They still
Yeah. So,
tried, like they still
oh,
definitely
oh no,
tried.
I know they didn't try. You're a big man. Is your father big? Where did you get it from?
Yeah, my father is actually I think like 6'3", 6'4".
Uh-huh.
Grandfather was like 6'6", 6'7". So like
Okay.
definitely got it from my dad's side of the family. But my mother's not short either. Like she's
Right.
around like 5'8", 5'9". So like she's not a small lady by any
Right.
means.
Right. So you going to school, were you super big? Were you the biggest kid in all your
Uh,
classes all the time?
not all the time, but I definitely was at least one of the biggest kids growing up. Just
Right.
on the playground, I was definitely one of them bigger kids that,
Right.
love to play contact sports because I got to bully my friends around a little
Oh,
bit.
you okay? You were that kid. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But you didn't have to do much of it. If Damien said, "Hey, give me the ball," they pretty much didn't want to.
Yeah, they got me. They're like, yeah, we
Yeah.
got you, bro.
Yeah.
We'll give you the ball.
Right. Right. So now going back, soccer. I can't. Were you the goalie? You had to be the goalie.
Nah, when I was a kid, like when I was like before U18, I was a goalie. But once I started getting into like the better or the higher age groups, I
Uh
got
huh.
into more midfield and offense. Funny
Right.
enough,
Okay.
like my
Okay.
coach, I remember the first coach I had when I got into like U13, or I think it was,
Uh huh.
and he was like, "Nah, you're going to midfield." And
Right.
back then, I still had asthma really bad. I was allergic
Oh,
to
you too.
grass.
Okay.
Oh yeah, growing up, I was allergic. That's why I played soccer because I was allergic to grass. I had
Okay.
asthma.
Yeah.
Like I was a short, like chubby little kid, couldn't run
Yeah.
nothing. But my parents
Okay.
were like, "Yeah, you're gonna go play soccer. You're gonna go outdoors. You're gonna work
Uh
that
huh.
through. You're gonna work
Right.
through
Right.
that."
Right. Get some
So I,
calisthenics in.
yeah, pretty much. So yeah, they did that, and on the military base, the coach wasn't playing around, so it really
Okay.
pushed me to like work through all of that, and that's why haven't really had any issues as far as like asthma or anything like that because I just kind of worked through it as a child and grew out of it.
Yeah. The funny thing is, Damien, I have asthma as well, and
Oh, really?
I played soccer for 2 years, and I was allergic to grass as well, especially fresh
Yeah.
cut grass.
Oh yeah,
And
best deal.
yeah, I played football and baseball. Baseball, I was really good at baseball, but it's kind of for you to say that, that's great. But my grandfather was the one that said, nah. The doctor said, you just got to be careful with him because he does, have the asthma and
Yeah.
stuff. But my grandfather said, put that boy out there and let him play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, so
Okay.
you understand
I totally
like
understand.
the mindset
I
that
totally
goes into it.
understand. So your wife said, Damien, go ahead, do it. And I'm gonna tell you something. There's nothing better than having a cheerleader on your side.
Oh yeah,
And
she's
that's a
like been my
great,
biggest inspiration.
that is, man, I'm so happy for you in that regards. I'm really happy for you. And I've heard you say that before, but I'm happy for her that she just encouraged you and she didn't say, hey man, you crazy, get out of here with that stuff. So that but because that's history you're building for future endeavors. That's
Yeah,
history you're
she
building.
she understood like what kind of person I am, and she knows I've been trying to get into the fighting world.
Right.
Like I've been looking for my way to peek my head into the door because it's hard, like getting into pro boxing or pro anything. We don't even know like what gyms to go to, who you should be
Okay.
fighting, what
Okay.
paperwork you need to fill out. So like
Okay.
this was like a great segue to get into that, and I'm really grateful I took the opportunity.
Right. Now let me ask you this. Once you decided, other than your wife, who was the first person outside of her that you said, you know what, I'm thinking about, I'm actually gonna do this slap fighting stuff. And what did they say?
Honestly, it was probably one of my coworkers because back then I was mainly going to work and coming home and studying. That's like all I was doing.
Right.
So it was definitely one of my coworkers, and I'm pretty sure it was actually the one that helped me decide my name for when I started.
Okay.
The the bell came from when I was with my coworker, and he was like, "Just change up your last name a little bit, and there you go."
I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I was gonna get into where did you get your name because you ring so many bells. It's like, damn. It's
Yeah,
like, damn.
it worked out perfectly in the end because there's that, and then there's like the unringable bell, and
Right.
I was like, that sounds pretty cool, but
Right.
it was just kind of like a back then I didn't know it would turn into this like
Right.
this scale, so it was just like, oh, that's goofy, like that's
Right.
funny, we could do that,
Right.
and
Right.
then
Right.
I just kind of stuck with it. It was like it works.
So let me ask you, how long have you been slap fighting? Like officially, unofficially, officially, not just being the champ. Like when did you get your first slap?
I think my first one was I think at the end of 2020 because I'm pretty sure we were just exiting COVID
Okay.
when I got the call back to come up there for my first competition. But I was training for it because there was talks of me doing it, and then I actually got the call to go out there and do it. So
Okay.
I've been training for at least 3 years for slapping, and I've
Oh,
been actually, yeah. So it's been a
so
while.
so that's great. So what is that? Because I mean, it's not like boxing where you just get a guy, he puts his stuff on, you put your stuff on, and you all go spar. How do you train? How do you prepare to get slapped, or even to
Uh,
slap somebody, and know that you get the response from them like, damn, that's a good slap.
Honestly, it's for everybody. It's different, but for me, I'm a specific case. I feel like because for me, it's always one slap, and we don't worry about defense over here. I think I just started training defense like a couple months ago, but I've never really
Okay.
trained defense. Never really worried about that. I just pick the motion of the slap that I'm trying to train, and I train that for like an hour, 30 minutes. Like I've tried different things with my feet. I've over the years or years and months now. Damn,
Uh-huh.
years. I feel
Yeah,
old
right.
saying that. I
Yeah.
feel old saying that,
Nah, you're young.
but over the years, it's definitely been like changing it up. Or like, oh, I heard something about like my stance over here. Let me incorporate that. Or, oh, he does this to work out his shoulder. Let me incorporate that. It's
Uh-huh.
just you take in a bunch of small workouts to help build
Right.
yourself up, and it adds together to create like that perfect slap. That's why looking back on my fight with Nate, I was so happy with that because that's like my perfect round one slap. The
Yeah.
accuracy is there, the power was there.
Yeah.
It's just you have to build all that together to get that
Correct.
one perfect slap. It's really
Yeah.
satisfying when you get that done.
Yeah, and we're gonna go over some of those fights that's for you to have me walk through it. Now, what is your preparation like when you get to the arena? How early do you like to get there? Do you get there early, sit in the back? What type of music do you listen to, if any?
They usually have us get there like an hour or two, and usually I'm fighting last, so there's a good couple hours before I have to fight where I'm just sitting in the back,
Okay.
chatting with the other guys. Just
Okay.
honestly, it's every fight is different, but I've gotten to the point now where I'm comfortable enough that I don't really need to get into the zone or anything from my fights. Like I'll
Okay.
listen to my music, I'll be chilling, but after a while, for me, it's just become exciting. Like it's basically like you're going out there to like, God, how do I like? It's like
R-
the championship game every time you go out there. Like
every
you're
time.
just happy to be there. Like you're just
Right.
excited to be able to compete at
Right.
that level. So
Right.
like every event now for me is just pure excitement to be out there and not as much of the mindset of, oh, I'm worried about if he's going to do this or what if he
Right.
does this. I'm steadying myself enough to the point where I know what I'm about to go up there and do,
Right.
and I don't
Right.
care what I don't care what training he's done. I don't care
Right.
what he's been, how much hours in the gym he's put in. I
Right.
know what I've done, and I know
Right.
what I'm about to go do.
Right.
So why should I be worried about anything else?
Why should you be worried about it? Right? Why should you be worried about it? I'm gonna play one of the videos, but before I do that, I know you're studying. How many what year are you in college?
Last year of college, I actually just recently graduated college, so
Okay.
officially out. But I'm trying to
Okay.
get into law school right now, just trying to figure out how to afford that.
Okay. Okay. My cousin actually is he's an attorney as well. He's down in Florida. He's in
Oh, really?
I think he's in Hollywood. He
Oh,
he was one of the most excited ones when I told him. I said, man, I'm gonna interview Dibbell, and he sent me a list of stuff, and he was like, man, I can't wait to hear what he has to say,
that's
because he's an
wild.
attorney, yo. So he's
Yeah,
like, he feels that common bond.
fair enough.
So
Yeah,
so
no, that's awesome.
okay. So before I play this first video with you in the tank, let me just say, man, you are in a place where it reminds me of when wrestling first started. Yeah, I'm that old. And we used to go watch wrestling at the high school gym, right? With guys like
Hmm.
Rocky Johnson, Junkyard Dog, rest in peace to these guys, Jimmy
Yeah.
Superfly Snooker. And it's how many years later, and I'm talking about these guys. So I feel like for you right now, 21 years old, heavyweight slap fight champion, and you're on the projection of the upward swing of this. This is where you are right now. This is where you are. I mean, you'll forever be mentioned in this slap fighting arena, and you have to be. It's like you can't take it out, you know?
Yeah, no, I've definitely tried my hardest to get to that point where it's like you can't talk about the sport without talking about me. That's always been my goal. Like, if you want to talk about this sport, you gotta mention my name somewhere.
Oh man, you really have to. And we about to go into some video, and those people watching, they're gonna figure out, okay, this is why he's always gonna be there. He's always gonna be mentioned. I'm gonna go to this first one with you and Frank the Tank.
Oh, this is an older one.
Like yeah. This is you and the Tank.
Was this our first match or the second one?
His round 6.
I believe this was your first match. And
oh yeah.
This right here, you were this is already the 6th round. You were getting a lot of penalties, clubbing and things of that nature.
Yeah, it was rough when I first started.
Now I noticed though, you were like, oh man, I can't believe I hit that guy like that. Is there some sensibility of sympathy when you club a guy?
It's not really sympathy. It's more like honestly, if I was to put it in any way, it'd be more like an honor code that I have with myself. Like when I go up there, I want to have a clean but hard hit and impactful. Like I want slugging out, hit for hit. I'm feeling it. You're feeling it. Like we're going through it. So penalties. Anytime I get a penalty, I just feel bad because I feel like I'm discrediting the fight and what it could be.
Okay.
And like I'm lessening it for myself because I always look for the hardest and best fights.
Okay.
So getting penalties like that is just like disappointing to myself and to my training, and just it definitely shows that I had a lot to work on back then.
Right. I'm looking at it here. Let's look at it as you tell us what's happening here. So
the final round of the match, Frank.
Now Frank.
That was my earlier fight.
Right.
Every hit hurt back then.
That's what I was going to ask, because I'm going to tell you something. Looking at this fight, Damien, we can't say, man, look at Damien now, and I'm going to show some of that footage. But I would have never believed you would have gotten past this fight. What was going through your mind? Did you think you would get past this? Did you think you would want to do this again after this fight?
Actually, going through this fight, I was more excited than I was for any other fight, because like this was like a make or break moment for me. Like this was like, okay, this is to prove that I deserve to be in this sport.
Okay.
And like to make a name for myself in this sport, because my first match, he used his left hand, and it was more like he's the vet, so he went easy on him, changed up his hand, and I was like, not good enough.
I remember that fight. You're right.
Yeah.
This is the rematch possible.
Yeah, so this is the rematch where he used his right hand, and actually I did message him like 2 weeks ago, like, when are we gonna run it back?
Because, you messaged him.
Oh yeah, but he ain't even in Power Slap anymore, so that has to be like end of my career. We do that.
Okay.
But yeah,
and we see you wearing glasses here.
Yeah, that definitely helped with my accuracy back then.
Okay.
Not enough, but it
not
definitely
enough.
Helped.
But I see here. I mean, when we look at technique and everything, your head, you can see your head is not staying focused on the guy.
Yeah.
And you changed everything, man. You changed everything, man. It's so important. I think you did end up. Let's see it. Did you? Yeah.
This is the only fight I've lost.
Correct. This is the only fight you lost. 5-1. Correct.
Yep.
Correct. 5-1.
Yeah. They don't even count these fights because they're technically amateur fights.
Oh wow.
So
okay. Okay.
Yeah. So on the amateur card, they technically don't even count these fights. But like, still, that's my only loss in slap fighting at all, and it was a decision that I think I should have won that decision. Still.
I saw how disgruntled you were. Like, man, you were like, oh
yeah, I was mad after that fight.
Yeah, well, you did put him down. You did put him down.
Oh yeah, I put him down enough times that I thought I should have still won that.
Right.
Especially because he got a clubbing that they didn't call, like
You're right.
early on,
Right.
and that that really messed up my entire fight because that got me like right in the eye, and that like completely threw off my accuracy. So I was
Wow.
I was just swinging for the bushes, honestly.
Oh,
After that,
okay. Okay. So you
but
felt at some point you felt like he was at an advantage.
yeah, but it is what it is. It
Yeah.
happened back then. I definitely looked back at that fight and was like, I'm never letting this happen again. I'm
Right.
going to train my ass off. And then my next fight with the Hulk, I really showed out. Like I
Well,
really went to prove that I was not letting that happen again. We are not going to decision. We're not
speaking
not
of
even risking it.
let's go to the tape with it.
Right now, this fight is anybody's game.
I love this fight.
We've got 3 more rounds to work.
Now this is
Yeah, that's when I started
now,
getting the technique down.
yeah. Now I tell you, you still got the glasses on, but there's something about this fight that triggered you, and I'm going to show your reaction to the win in it. But I mean, y'all were really going at it, man, and you were giving it to him, and like you said, this is when you got your technique down, and this is when you felt like you showed up. And watch his reaction to this.
Oh, the Hulk is hurt.
Oh yeah, he was hurting after that one. This is
Yeah,
actually the only match that I know of that someone like just gave up on. Because
but
the
but
doctor
even,
actually didn't stop this fight. He just was like, "Nah, we're done."
well, that's what I'm looking at here, and I'm looking at you staring at this man, and I'm thinking, what's going through your mind here? And
Oh,
what are they talking about?
at that point, I remember it clear as day too. I was sitting there just like, "Nah, we're not done yet. Run it back. Come on.
Right, right,
You got one more. Let's keep it going."
right,
Because I'm a hype. I'm excited for those types of matches. I love it when you put up a good fight. You hit hard. You take shots.
right,
That gets me excited and makes me want to hit harder and take
right,
shots better.
right.
And I was sitting there just like getting ready for him to slap, and the doctor's looking him up and down. He's like, "Hey, you're good to go in my books. Like, you could go back out there, but it's up to you. Like,
Right.
it's on you if you want to keep fighting." And he's like, "Nah, I'm done. I'm done."
But why did it take him so long? What was he? I thought he was crying at one point.
It was that last round. I really just got him and he knew it was over after that one. Like his
Right.
whole face was like cut up. It looked
Yeah.
like his eye was so on. He honestly after that one, he probably just was not feeling it anymore.
Yeah, I could see why. Yeah, but now let me ask you this: up to this point, who had slapped you the hardest? Up to this point.
Up to this point, I still think Frank had hit me the hardest.
Okay. But
And I just
you.
think it's because Frank is more accurate, so he hits the same spot like every time.
Okay, so
pretty
he
much,
chopping
so-
you down. He chopping you down.
Yeah, so he was really like chopping me down.
And the excitement. What's going through your
Yeah.
mind, man?
Oh,
I mean-
to prove, because this was coming off of a loss, so to be able to actually prove like that I deserve to be here, like I iced him, bro. Like I didn't. It wasn't a close fight by any means. It was
Right.
I won that fight.
Right.
And that's like
right.
all I was looking for. So like, just pure elation for me.
Now were people saying, yeah, people keep talking about how hard this guy hits. He ain't nothing. Were you getting any of that in the background?
You always get that in the back. I'm pretty sure I got that up until my fight with Nate. And I probably still get that even with my fight with Nate. Like, that's just something you kind of expect from people. Like,
Okay.
I never concern myself with it. But
Okay.
there's definitely people that still were chatting in the comments and stuff like that. Like,
Okay.
oh, he couldn't have won that fight. Oh, he was fighting dirty. Oh, like,
Right.
people gonna
Right.
say what they gonna say. Ain't nothing
Right.
you can do about it.
Yeah. Now going back to the fight with Frank, did you ever hurt your hand? Because there was multiple clubs and stuff like that in that fight.
Actually, I never hurt my hand. Never at all. I don't know how, but
Right.
I've just always been training my wrists and like arms to be strong and to withstand the blows from the fights.
Right.
So like I've been hitting bricks and stuff like that. So I've never
Oh,
had
wow.
any like hand. Yeah, I've literally never had any problems with my hands during a fight.
Great,
Like I've
great,
made sure
great,
to train that. Yeah.
great, great. We're gonna go to this fight here.
Going
You
on
mentioned it.
3.
Now this one here,
This is the
it seems to
first
me
ever-
like this guy was talking a lot of junk before the fight.
Actually,
Crespo,
me and Crespo are actually best friends now. Like,
are you serious?
Me and him are best friends. Like, we talk to each other almost every day. He's
Really?
helping me getting to pro boxing.
Oh wow.
It's just before this fight,
Uh-huh.
he is autistic. He actually is, and we've
Okay.
talked about it in length. But he says things and doesn't really understand what what other people would take them as.
Okay.
So like we were in the hotel lobby,
Okay.
and he put his hand on my shoulder and was like, "Hey, just try to put on a good show, man." And to me, if you're gonna put your hand on my shoulder and tell me just put a good show on,
Right.
that means you are so confident in winning
Right.
that you obviously don't even care about me. Like you just seeing me as a stepping stone. So we're going to have some issues.
Right.
So I was mad about that, and then come to find out that's not even what he meant after the fight.
Right.
He's just a dude that don't even know what he's doing.
Right.
But yeah, no, going into that fight, I was mad.
in power
Oh,
slam.
there you go, yeah.
But Damien Dibbell, let's see what this big
Yeah,
man's
this
got.
was one of my favorite fights
Big
though.
wind up.
Oh yeah,
was this a contender fight? After this, you would have.
yeah. This is a contender fight because this is right after the house or the first season of the show.
Yeah.
So he was the winner for the heavyweight in the house.
Okay. So once you won this, that made you top contender. Now look at look at this, man. Look at those feet, man. Look at the stance.
Yeah, see, and even back in this fight, I don't think I have my form down completely. Like maybe for this first round, it just doesn't look right, but in the second round, you'll definitely see the improved form.
Wow.
Because like,
Very close. Both legal shots. Look at those feet.
I mean, yeah, man. I mean,
yeah, like,
those feet don't move,
planted.
man. I mean, and it's so easy. It's so easy to get a stepping, and you used to get a lot of steppings, which is for me.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. For me, watching your career and seeing the improvement, it's impressive. I mean, it really is impressive.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
You asked my wife. I've put in hours upon hours of work and effort just to keep my feet planted,
Right.
and my form correct for these slaps.
Right.
And I've definitely found out a couple of secret techniques to help me with that.
Right. Okay. Here we go. Now he gets a chance to get you one time. He gets the chance, and he gets excited after almost like he might be. Yeah. There's no movement, man. That's what is that about, Damien?
Bruh.
What is that
He
about?
was
Yeah.
talking so much after I hit him, and then he hit me, and I was like, bruh, how you gonna talk all that and then throw something like that at me?
Oh wow. So it looked worse than what it actually felt like.
Yeah, it looked really bad, but like I don't know what happened with that slap, but it just wasn't it.
It wasn't it. Right.
It just wasn't it.
Right. And he got excited about it. But
Yeah,
I can see
it was
why.
definitely a very clean slap,
Right.
but it wasn't all that powerful. Like 5 of those would not have been enough.
Oh wow.
But like as you can see, it was a clean slap.
Right.
Like that's one thing I can't fault Dwayne for ever is like he is like one of the most accurate fighters in the league right now.
Right. Now let me ask you a question. After you hit a guy and before you make contact on every shot, do you think, yeah, this one gonna put him down?
Oh yeah.
Every shot.
Every shot. Every set. Every single one. Even if I truly don't think it's going to put him down, I still try to convince myself that it will.
Right. I mean, because look at where this thing is coming from. It's about 180 degrees there.
Oh yeah, we full rotation. If I could
and
touch the back of my other elbow, I would try to.
yeah, and then we come in with the force. Yeah,
gone.
Yeah. Now at that point, when you hit him, did you think he was much more? Did you think he would get up, or did you think he was seriously hurt?
I saw him and I thought he was like hurt, but I thought he would get up like after like stumbling around for a while, because I guess for me, I still don't realize like how strong I can hit sometimes. So every time someone falls down, I'm like, oh nah, they're good. They'll get back up. We got that. And then they just don't. And I was like, oh, well, I guess it's off to the next opponent.
Out to the next opponent. Right, right. Wow. And now you said something after you hit Dwayne. You care to share that? I mean Crespo. Yeah. What did you say to him? You were yelling something. I didn't include. I said I don't know if he wants that. What did you say to him?
I don't know if I remember exactly. I think it was like something about being comfortable. Like, oh, you comfortable right there?
Yeah. While he was on. Yeah.
While he was on the ground, I was like,
Yeah.
damn, you're looking real comfortable, aren't you?
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly, but I remember it was something like that because I remember we talked about it. It was like comfortable somewhere in that.
Right. Right.
I'd have to like go back and see the replay.
Yeah. So I mean, at this point in the fight, at this point in your career, after that fight, were you still like, hey, nobody's gonna be able to beat me? Did you have the confidence you think you needed at that point?
Honestly, I've never thought that anybody could beat me, because if you don't have faith in yourself, then who the fuck's gonna have faith in you? So I thought, day one, fight number one, I was taking everybody. You didn't have to act like it. Never have to act like it.
Right.
But there's a thing called self-confidence that I feel like that's all I have, and nothing else. So I was always confident in myself. But after that fight, it made me really consider, like, what if I actually was number one in the heavyweight division? Like, what if this really was not just a dream, but like a goal, and a goal that I could actually achieve?
Right.
And after that next fight, really cemented that, damn, I really do got something going.
Right. Now, who comes to your fights mainly?
My wife.
Okay.
Yeah, she's always at my fights. If no one else is at my fights, it's my wife.
Generally, where are the fights at? Vegas, I believe, right?
Yep, Vegas, Apex.
Okay.
They just released like a couple days ago that they're going to start doing live events where they sell tickets and stuff. Up until now, it was invite only. So and they gave you like 2 tickets. Okay. So yeah, it was only my wife was able to come anyways. But
But you send tape to the family. Up to this point, what is your dad saying when you know, hey, look, man, I'm knocking him down?
Honestly, my entire family, not just my dad, like literally everybody in my family was excited about it. Everyone's buying merch. Everyone's like supporting me any way they can. Leaving comments, subscribing, liking my stuff, hitting me up, telling me congratulations after every fight. Like, everyone's just been really supportive, and it's been awesome.
And it shows. It shows in your enthusiasm and your joy for what you do, which is very important. Now, this fight right here, with Wolverine.
Ooh, that was by far my favorite fight.
Now Wolverine is technically sound. Like, I don't think I've ever seen him commit a penalty.
Honestly, the only time I have was when he was fighting Terp, and that's because he was pissed. But like, nah, when it comes to like technique and like accuracy, Ron is a whole class of his own. Like, I feel like he's just up there when it comes to technique.
Your technique reminds me of his technique, and that makes me want to ask you the question: did you learn anything from him?
He was the first one to teach me how to slap, actually. But I feel like him and like Frank and Darius, like those are the guys I started slapping with. So like, those are the guys that I kind of learned from and took pieces of theirs and then made my own technique. And I feel like every fighter should find their own technique, or a main fighter that fights like the way they want to, and like try to copy that technique and then make it their own. Like, I feel like that's what every fighter's goal should be in this league. And Ron, he has his thing down like perfectly. Like,
right.
But I definitely learned some of those early techniques from him and the other guys.
Yeah, I can see it. Well, here we go. You said this is your favorite fight.
Shot from Dibbell.
Oh yeah, by far my
We're
favorite
about
fight.
to find out
Okay.
right here. We talked about
Okay.
the power of this youngster.
Yeah, so
Oh,
what's going through your mind? I mean, this is a legend. One of the guys that taught you how to fight. Now you get to slap him.
You must measure.
The assistant
Bruh, honestly,
coach
going
with
into this fight, it was
Wolverine on
just
season 1 of
it was just
Power Slapper
zoning
new
in,
title. Here we
not
go.
focusing
Look at
on
the
what
size of
he's
that
doing, focusing on what I'm doing, especially because this is like a legend.
That's
If
a
I
big hand.
start thinking about how he's going to
With
like
big power.
react and do different things, I'm gonna get into my own head and start overthinking.
Wow.
And then when
Wow.
the first hit did that, I was like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
we could do something here.
Yeah, and this is a title fight.
Yeah, this is for all.
It's a little
This is
out
for
of
the
range,
belt.
if you ask
Like,
me.
Right.
this is everything on the line.
And I think that was a club.
Nah,
That
I
was a
flinched
club.
into that one. It was a club, but I flinched into it, so they called the
Oh, they
club
called a
first.
flinching foul,
Right.
but they're gonna call
Right.
clubbing.
Or the flinching first,
What you're
yeah.
gonna
Okay.
Must measure.
Okay.
Because if there's a flinching and a club at the same time,
round.
they always call the
Does he lose his
defensive one.
consciousness?
Okay.
No, he does now.
Now that's that there. Now at this point, did you feel him feeling somewhat defeated?
No. I will say Ron is the only fighter I've hit and made fall down, and then he got back up and hit me harder than he did in any of the other rounds. Like,
Wow.
every time you hit Ron, he just comes back stronger. It does not make no sense.
Okay, let's
But,
watch
like-
it here. Wow.
Heavyweight title.
Yeah, that's why I love this fight so much, because it was a battle.
Look at the feet. Look at the technique. Yeah, he was rocked, man. I don't know
Oh,
where
yeah.
he's getting it from.
Lumber truck driver.
I don't know where he's getting it from. See, by now I think he's a little weaker. I think something's off of that.
Feet a little closer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think
Yeah, no,
something.
he's definitely feeling it. He's
He's still
definitely
wobbling.
rocked. Like, looking
Right.
back on it, I could definitely tell that he's, like, rocked and, like, he's going through it.
Yeah.
Good slap.
But, like, when you're up there getting hit, each one hurt. Like, each
Right.
one, it just adds up. And his is, like, a really bad sting. So, like, it just keeps building up.
Now this was interesting to me because at this point you couldn't see. You didn't know what round it was. You were just focused in on slap, slap, slap.
Yeah.
You didn't have
No
your glasses on.
No, couldn't see shit.
Okay, now at this fight, at this point, you giving him some, he's giving you some. Did you think you had won the fight?
Nah. Honestly, I actually thought I was losing this fight unless I got the knockout. I'm bad at judging scorecards, though. Like, I've
Okay.
talked with other fighters about this. Apparently, I'm just bad at judging scorecards.
Okay.
But going, like, in that moment, I thought I was losing the fight. And
Okay.
I was like, well, got to go knock him out or
Yeah.
put him on his ass or else I'm losing.
Right. Okay.
So
Okay, here we
that's
go.
what- Yep.
Oh, it slaps in the face. Here we are.
Here we go.
Final
Really?
round for the heavyweight belt.
Show the squinting.
Championship on the line.
And you were winning the fight.
The final
Oh, yeah.
shot.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I did that. And then
Yeah.
I really was winning the fight.
Yeah. Now, did you think he would get up?
Nah. Honestly, I thought right there the fight was over.
Right.
And then I looked back and he stood up. I was like, this
That's
fucker.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
I was
Wow.
so mad.
Yeah. I mean, and you're telling me that this was, yeah,
That was the hardest hit that he ever hit me with.
wow. And here you go. You've reached
Yeah.
where you wanted to get to, man.
Yeah, you can even see it on my face when I realized.
Yeah.
Did not expect it.
Yeah.
And that's when my life changed forever.
Yeah.
Right there.
What was that celebration like?
Honestly, something different. Just some hard to put into words. Just like the
Right.
emotions and the excitement from that moment. Like everything was brighter. The sun was shining, even though
Right.
it was nighttime outside.
Right.
Like
right.
the food tasted better. Everything smelled better.
right.
The liquor hit just a little bit better.
Right.
It was just you're on cloud nine after winning a fight like that.
Right.
This-
I mean, because like you said, he taught you.
Yeah,
showed
like he
you-
taught me everything I know. Like
Right. Right.
Like in the beginning, like he was the person that got me into the sport. I remember watching his fights and being like, "Oh, I want to do this."
Right.
Like he's a badass. I want to be like that.
Right.
And then to fight him and win like that was just craziness,
Right.
man. Just crazy.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. I think watching you fight reminds me, and you could say it's arguable, but it reminds me a lot of Mike Tyson. Tyson came into the league not technically sound, but he was still able to do it because of his physical ability, right?
Yeah.
He was young, won the championship young, and he progressed. He kept his head down. He was determined to be champion. That's what he wanted to do, and he did it. And there was such a thing where some of the best fighters were put in front of him, and he was just taking them out. And so for me, going back looking at your fights, I'm like, man, this kid has come a long way quickly because he's focused on what he wants to do and he wants to be the best at it. And that's what reminds me so much of when I'm talking about heavyweights now, not lightweights. You're a heavyweight. So it may take a little bit more to muster up, to train and do the things you do and be more consistent and disciplined at it, right?
Oh yeah.
Especially with the velocity. My God.
It's been rough, but I've definitely found the motivation in myself to really push myself to do all these things. And like, for example, I want to get into boxing, so I actually quit smoking like 3 days ago. Like,
okay,
I was just like, all right, we're done. Stop smoking.
Right.
Haven't touched it. Haven't looked at it.
Right.
I'm quitting smoking. I started training last month. Like I've really I've been running. I've been jogging. I've been hitting the weight room, going to the gym. I'm sore right now. Like walking is rough. Leg day sucks.
Leg day. Right.
I've been putting in the effort, and I've just been trying to honestly try to bring myself up to the standard that I feel like a champion should be at.
Okay.
For any sport, like
any sport.
This may be a brand new sport, and we don't have all the backing and all the other events and past fighters that everybody else has. But when people look back at this sport and they look back at who the champions were,
right?
I don't want them to see no slobs, no schmucks, someone not training, not doing what they're supposed to be doing. I want to be up there on the standard of what a good champion should be for a sport.
That's very important, and I'm pretty sure the sport appreciates you for having that motivation, that drive to be the best and to be the best champion. That's great. Now this is the one time you defended your title.
Dibbell.
Yeah. Now I'll be honest with you, Damien. I watched this fight, but I watched the pre-fight. Now, do you get to see the pre-fight, like what they're talking about? The tail of the tape. I say the tail of the tape.
We actually, going into the fight, we don't get to watch it because we're waiting in the back to go out there. So the only time we get to hear it is like when we were actually out on the stage, get to catch like the tail end of it, but we don't really get to watch like the videos or anything until after, and we go home and shit.
Okay, but now the part where you talk about what Nate's gonna feel when you hit him, and he talks about what you're gonna feel, and you've never been hit this hard. You don't get to hear any of that prior to the fight.
Nope, none of it.
Okay. So he doesn't get. Okay, you didn't hear what he had to say. All right. No. So I'm gonna tell you, man. I gotta be honest with you, Damien. I said, man, this is a big man. They're saying this man is bigger than Damien. Then when I saw his guns, I says, wait a minute now. I hope my buddy ain't in no trouble now.
Oh yeah, he was like, he was a couple inches taller, couple inches thicker everywhere.
Yeah,
they got like the Samoan Hercules to come out there and fight my ass.
Right. And I had watched some of Nate's fights, so I said, okay, he's pretty good. And then, how much of an advantage do you think it was ever to win the coin toss?
Honestly, for championship fights, I'm gonna keep it specific to championship fights because I don't want to piss anybody else off in any other weight class or any lower down the ranking. If you are going into a championship fight and you are taking a belt, like you're trying to take a belt, you should be completely okay with losing that coin toss and it not impacting your fight at all. Okay. Like bank on winning. It's nice to win the coin toss.
Right.
You know, it's fun to get the chance to knock someone out round one and not get hit.
Right.
But that's about all it should be. To me, going into my fight with Ron, I wasn't banking on that coin toss. I actually would have preferred to lose it, if anything. Like it's nice to win it, but like looking back, I would have preferred to lose it just to not have to deal with all the people that are like, oh, but if you lost a coin toss, that would have changed your match. Bruh, if you're at that stage, it shouldn't matter whether you win or lose the coin toss. You should be ready to receive just as well as you are ready to give a slap. Because that's the whole sport. The whole sport is doing two things. You're giving and you're taking slaps.
You stand there.
If you can't stand there and take a slap, like, and you're worried about losing the coin toss, you need to get into a different sport. You need to get into like boxing or something. Like
plain and simple.
Hot. Yeah,
it's something you can where you got some kind of defense. You can throw up an arm and block it or something.
Yeah, like people hate on the sport because there's no defense, but that's like the thing that's so crazy and fun about the sport. There's no defense. Right. You just got to stand there and slug it out and see who's the toughest person out there.
On that day, at least on that day.
On this day, we're going to find out which one of us is the toughest, which one of us can hit the hardest and take the hardest hit. So like banking on the coin toss, just don't do it.
Ain't it.
It ain't it. It ain't it for me. And people always ask me like, what do I do to train my defense? I don't really train my defense because like I want a natural, like, I've trained my power, so I want my power and chin versus your power and chin. Just how we are. Just
let's take it.
Let's just take it. Like, you just have to be.
What would defense look like? What would defense and slap fighting look like?
A lot of people train their chins, their neck strength and stuff like that. I've tried to start doing that. I don't really. Some people say it helps. Some people say it doesn't.
Okay.
I've never really done it, and I've been trying to do more of it just to like, if it does help, why not? But like,
right.
I've always been comfortable with where I'm at, so I've never really worried about training my defense.
Yeah. Now
but it's really.
Let's watch this little quick with Nate. This is important, man, because like I said, he came in big, but now he's looking a little worried.
Oh yeah.
Had you guys seen each other prior to this?
We've met a couple times doing the promo shoots, outside the hotel and stuff like that, but never really like sat down and had a meal together. But we definitely had met before.
Okay.
And he seems like a very chill guy. We were just hanging out.
Yeah.
But he was definitely looking concerned going into this match.
Now the thing that he's holding behind him, is that like a noodle or a water noodle? Is it soft? Is it hard? What is it?
It's like a pool noodle kind of thing, and you just hold it behind your back. It's really just to keep your arms out of the way, so you don't like reflexively put them up or anything. But it's really just something to hold on to while you're getting hit.
Okay. So here we go. Now I thought this was kind of funny. I didn't see you laugh, but maybe the camera didn't see you because the face Nate made, the face that he made was I was like, I don't know, Nate. You know it's gonna be something you don't really want.
Yeah, another thing you can work on with defense too is the way you stand when receiving a hit. Because if you see the way Nate has his chin like out and given, like he gave his chin away, just like sticking up, that's not how you want to receive a slap. You at least want to be standing straight.
So you recognize that before you hit him?
Oh yeah, I saw that and I got excited a little bit when I saw him sitting like that. I was like, oh yeah, give me that chin.
So that's coaching.
Yeah, that's just a coaching thing. Like that's something experienced fighters like for this sport are going to recognize. And honestly, hopefully Nate will recognize himself once he gets more into the sport.
Okay. Here you go.
But yeah, he's sticking his chin right out.
Yeah, I see that. Now he inhaled. Does that help or does that hurt you to inhale like that?
Some people say it helps. For me, I don't know. I always stay with the breath that I already have in my lungs. I don't try to inhale or exhale. Like because it's only like it's only going to take like 4 seconds, 5 seconds for them to slap you. Just hold
Okay.
your breath the whole time, stay stationary, and eat that hit.
Right.
And then as they're hitting you, then that's when I would exhale, or like after the hit is already complete.
Okay. Okay. And here we go. Here we go. Nate's ready. Now, at this point, did you think he'd be able to continue?
Yeah, I thought we were going at least one more round.
Yeah, no, he didn't want it. He couldn't. He was wobbling.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, he would. Somebody
he was
would have got.
wobbling.
Yeah, somebody would have got seriously hurt.
Yeah, he
So
was
what's
wobbling
next
bad.
for you in the to defending your title?
Honestly, hard to say because there's the fighters in the house. So like Ellis, Logan, couple of guys in the house that are competing for the spot. But you still have Dorian, you still have Dwayne, you
Right.
still got these other guys that want their shot at the belt. I know
Right.
Ryan's been messaging me; he wants his shot. Like, it's really at this point for me, it's just whoever fights their way to the spot to
Right.
earn themselves a title fight. Just whoever could get and climb their way to that spot is whoever's going to get it.
Okay. So after Nate, who was behind him? Who's the next contender? If you were gonna have a fight, who do you think you would want to fight?
Technically, the next contender would be Dorian, but right now he's like third in the rankings. Because
Okay.
right now I'm champ,
Correct.
and it's Nate who I knocked out,
Right.
and Dwayne who I knocked out, and then Dorian who lost to Dwayne, and then
Okay,
Dwayne
so-
lost to Nate. So like it's
Yeah.
It's like,
That's
who-
what I'm saying, man. Nope. I mean, what are we gonna do? Have you broken the sport now? You broken the cheat code? You got something
I've
going?
kind of I've kind of got
Yeah.
the cheat code for the heavyweight division.
Yeah.
So
Right.
now it's just waiting for them to find me a new fighter or whoever they think could get a shot. It probably is going to be Dorian just because he's number 3 and I haven't gotten to fight him yet.
Right.
But
Right.
he'd have to win his next at least couple. I'm thinking at least 2 fights before they even give him a shot, which sucks for me because I don't get a fight anytime soon. Like,
Right. You just gotta stay ready.
yeah, I'm just staying, training, getting ready for my next fight.
Right.
'Cause
Right.
that's all I can do.
What advice would you give to someone looking to get into slap fighting?
Honestly, if you're getting into slap fighting, you need to be watching all the fighters, seeing what every fighter's doing, how they hit, how they take slaps, and then try out everything. Just try out everything. See
Right.
what feels comfortable for you. See what generates the most power for you, because everyone has their own natural motion that
Right.
is going to feel the best for them and generate the most power for them that
Right.
might not work for other people.
Right.
Like, and I'm a firm believer on if you hit them with the whole kitchen sink, they're going to fall down eventually.
They're gonna fall down eventually.
Like,
Yeah.
you just got to hit them harder than anybody else has ever hit them, and
Right.
they're going to fall down eventually.
Right.
Like,
And
Dwayne
you've done that.
Yeah, and I've done that, and it's been working out for me perfectly. But I'm a different type of person. Like,
Right.
you can't just come into a sport thinking you're going to do that. So,
Right.
starting out, you're going to want to try all the techniques. You're going to want to try everything you can. And if you're a naturally really strong person, really built different, try
Right.
my technique. My technique is built for strength only combat.
Oh man, listen. You
Power
can
and
see that.
accuracy.
You
Yeah,
can
that's
see
all
that.
that's
Yeah,
all we do.
Yeah, you can really see that with the planning of the foot, and that's why you're ranked number 1 in power.
Yeah, because I've literally trained a technique that is specifically for power. And you could ask Dwayne, you could ask Ryan, you could ask any other fighter who's trained specifically for power, and they're going to tell you that is my technique, that's my slap, is
But-
only power.
But why wouldn't guys train? And this is a power thing. I mean, you have to outpower the guy to put him down on that
It's
mat.
because it's for some people it's not as accurate. For some people, they just don't have the strength to make it work. They have to do different techniques.
Okay.
For some guys, there's not enough accuracy there, or it's just not comfortable for them. Some guys, it just doesn't work for them. Like
Right.
their body just prefers a different method. It's a lot of things that go into it. Everybody has their own technique,
Right.
but you could definitely copy some guys and build around it. And that's what I
Right.
think everybody should be doing. I've
Right.
actually started training now. I actually got my first fight, planning to sign my first fighter to start training them one-on-one on how to
Okay.
get to fight. They said they won't fight just like me.
Okay.
I'm gonna train them to fight exactly like me.
So that's good. So what has it been like walking around your neighborhood and your community now?
Honestly, ain't nothing changed because I'm not really like a going out and doing things in my neighborhood all the time. Like I've got a new barber that is
Oh,
actually a fan of my stuff, so that was really cool connecting with him. Doing
right.
some media stuff.
Right.
A couple people here and there, but
Uh,
overall, it's just it's been the same old for me.
okay. Okay. What was it like the first time somebody said, "Hey, are you that guy?"
Honestly, it's kind of weird. It's kind of surreal being that person that gets stopped on the side of the street. It's like, hey, are you that dude from TV? Like,
Yeah.
you slap people, right?
Yeah. 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 Right.
It's weird being that guy, but it's just something that I've been trying to get used to. Like, and honestly, all this like social media and publicity stuff, it's hard for me to get used to because I'm a 3 friend kind of person. Like, I got 3 solid close friends,
Right.
and I'm chilling. I'm having a
Right.
great life. That's all I
Right.
need.
Right.
But now
Right.
it's doing this social media stuff. I've tried to convert more to like being open to talking to people, doing interviews like this. Back
Right.
then, like 2 years ago, if I was doing this interview, I would have been I don't
Right.
know, like stuttering, just
Right. Right.
not really conveying what I want to say,
Right.
and just like really just going off on random tangents and stuff. I used to do that all the time.
Yeah. Well,
I
you're the
still
champ
do
now.
sometimes. Yeah,
I mean, you come a long way, man. You come a long
I
way.
do a little of that. But no,
Yeah.
I've definitely been trying to put myself more in more uncomfortable situations
Hmm.
to be comfortable in those situations.
Right.
So like
Right.
interviews, I say okay to pretty much every interview that is
Yeah.
offered to me. If people
That's
just
great.
want fans sometimes just want to like FaceTime me, I'll be like, sure, go ahead, like whatever.
Right.
Like
Right. Right.
just trying
Right.
to put myself out there and
The people's
not
champion
only
almost.
yeah, like not only spread my name and what I do, but like spread the sport in general to people that
Right.
may not have heard of it. So
Right.
I've been trying to pull my weight and getting people to support the sport and everything. It's
Correct. Help
just
grow
been
it. Right.
yeah, but it's definitely been a kind of rough journey for me because I'm definitely not a natural born like social media
Social guy.
person. Yeah, like
Right.
social got 100 friends that I talk to. Like no.
Right. 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 And you mentioned getting the sport out, and you mentioned your merchandise. Tell me a little bit
Yes.
about your merchandise.
I'm actually pretty much doing all of it, just me and my wife.
Okay.
I actually setting up a website right now.
Okay.
She's doing a couple designs. She actually is taking a couple days off work to help get the designs up and running before
Awesome.
February, hopefully.
Okay.
So we're
And
just
you
trying
have,
to get.
I saw you have some stickers.
Yeah, I got some stickers made because I fighter's friend just hit me up. It's like, hey, you got a good deal on stickers. I was like, sure, small business. I'd love to help y'all guys out.
Right.
So I ordered like 100 stickers just to see how they would sell, and I haven't even started selling them already. Like I just got them to sell them without
Right.
any envelopes, no stamps, no way to sell to
Right.
ship them out to these people. And I've already had like 10 people message me asking to buy them stickers. So I was like, well, I guess I should actually get like a official merch store going.
Yeah, you have to, man. You have to. You
Yeah,
have to.
so
And
so that's in the works. I'm hoping to announce it before my next fight, but I also don't know when my next fight's going to be. So
you don't know when it's going to be. Right. Right.
yeah.
Now,
but
would you
it's
be allowed to sell stuff at the fight or no?
I actually don't know. I've
Okay.
been talking to them about a lot of stuff, but they're kind of like they don't like it when you mix your business with their business, kind of thing.
Correct. Correct.
Like
Okay.
they're happy to support you, like if you're doing your own merch and stuff like that, but they just have to, for legal reasons, draw a fine line between Power Slap stuff and your stuff.
Right.
That's
Right.
that's kind
Yeah,
of
that's
the only
understandable.
issue.
You don't want people thinking that, hey, I bought this authentic thing from
Yeah,
Damien and it's Power Slap. It's not from Power Slap.
yeah. So that's pretty
Right.
much that whole ordeal. But I'm
Right.
definitely getting my merch store set up to, even if I don't sell at events, trying to keep it somewhat cheap online. It's definitely
Yeah.
going to be drop shipped starting out. Just
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
cheapest way
Definitely.
for me to do it.
Yeah.
That's
Keep
the
me
best way
posted
to
in
do
that,
it.
man. I'll be happy to post that up for you and get some for
Definitely.
myself. I'll be happy to
I
get some for
appreciate that.
myself. I mean, I
Yeah, I'm
could see.
actually looking to make some nice looking merch. I don't want no you're just getting it to support. I want you to actually be like, okay, this looks pretty fucking cool. I
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
I can wear that.
I tell you, I seen a few of those poses where you slapping. That would look nice on a shirt. That would
Oh
almost
yeah,
look nice. Feet planted and arm back, ready to throw. That would look nice on a shirt.
that would be amazing. But
Right,
I'd
right,
have to get Dakota to like, or my wife Dakota to actually like draw about because we're
right.
not allowed to use any of the photos.
Oh,
So
really?
it's really up, yeah. So it's really up to her whatever she wants to do.
Okay, okay. So
But we're
where can people follow you at, Damien?
the Bell SF pretty much anywhere. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram,
Facebook.
Face
Okay,
Facebook. Actually, just look up my name, Damien Dibbell. I don't really use Facebook, so like,
okay,
but if
okay,
you really want to get a hold of me and see what's going on, the latest news, Instagram, TikTok are the main ones I use,
okay.
and also YouTube. I'm going to start trying to post more YouTube videos. I got my mic. I'm trying to get a nice little setup going, so
Great, great,
hopefully
great.
we're going to get some YouTube videos out.
That's great, man. I mean, the sky's the limit for you, man. I don't. I'm pretty sure you know that, and I'm
Yeah,
glad
it's
that you're tapping into it. You know, you're tapping into it. You're taking advantage of your passion, your commitment, your support. I mean, it's just unremarkable. Your wife she's a champion too. I mean, she's been going through
oh
this
yeah,
with you, you know?
oh yeah. She's like
And
95% of the reason I'm even here today. Like
right,
she's supporting me through everything, thick and thin, and it's just freed me up to be able to do so much more with this. And
right,
I'm really
right,
grateful for her for being a part of that.
right, right. So one last question, Damien. When you're not slapping, when you're not studying, what does the Bell like to do in his spare time?
Uh, Funny enough, a lot of people don't realize this, but I am like the biggest nerd for like just like World War II, Warhammer 40K,
Uh-huh.
just any nerdy topic like that. I'm all for it. Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, love them. Absolutely love
Okay.
them. Manga, anime, love them. Absolutely.
Love him.
Actually, yeah. Wait, where's my? Because my phone case, my wallet, my backpack, all
Uh,
anime related.
uh-huh.
Most of my room is decorated with anime things.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, I'm mainly into just the average nerdy things. I really
Okay.
like studying old World War II like tanks and like guns and just a bunch of random
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 stuff.
things you wouldn't even think about.
Right, right, right. But it sounds like you're okay with being alone and just finding things to get into.
Oh yeah, because I was a military brat. It really goes back to that, like moving around so much.
Right,
You really don't have a group of friends
right.
like wherever you're going. So it's really just you and your family
Correct.
because that's just how it is. Like I've been to probably like 10 different schools,
Right up
maybe.
and right, right,
Yeah, maybe more, maybe less, but around 10
right.
different schools. So like you don't
Wow,
really
that's a lot because you're talking about 12 years of school from first grade to 12th grade. So 10 schools is a lot.
Oh yeah. So like
10 schools.
when you don't really stay anywhere too long, you get real comfortable being by yourself and just doing your own thing. So
Right.
I've always been good just reading a book, playing some video games, watching a documentary on some random topic.
Right, right,
Just anytime I get an interest that really gets my excitement and gets my interest into that thing, I'll
right.
just deep dive into it for like 2 weeks until
Yeah,
I find something else that
yeah,
piques
yeah,
my
yeah.
interest. I'm deep dive into that. It's
Right,
just
right,
never ending cycle.
right. Do you journalize at all?
No, I've actually wanted to start doing it My wife,
Okay.
someone actually got me a leather journal to start like taking notes and stuff in. I was actually thinking about using that. I actually
Yeah.
want, because I want to write my own book one day.
Do it,
But
man. Do it.
Yeah.
I've
I
written a
don't
book.
know at what point. Really?
Yeah, I've written a book.
How do you even start that process of just like, you know what? I'm writing a book. This.
You're starting it. The easiest way, let me tell you, the easiest way is to start it. And that's why I asked you if you're journalizing, because you're 21 now. And just write down some of the things that you're going through. And like you said, growing up in the military, that process, to right now, getting out of high school, going into college, getting out of college, your next level, marriage, these phases of your life, just journalize, and it makes it so much easier to write the book. I'm working on my second book, which is, well, I'm not gonna say it on air. I'll tell you off. But that's
Fair
what
enough.
made me look so much into the things that you're doing as far as the consistency of you do and the discipline that you have. And that's very impressive. And my book is about that. So
I
I wanted
appreciate
to,
that, yeah.
yeah, my book is about that. And I know those few things in life that you have, you'll never abandon those things. So if you started to write a book, I'm totally confident that you would finish it. Now, it actually may be harder than taking a slap, to be honest with you. Just, yeah,
Honestly, I could see that happening.
yeah, yeah, just because of the space that you need to write. That's why it's easier to just write short stories throughout the day, throughout your life. And you may find out in the next 2 years, you say, wow, I got a lot of information here. Let me put my first book out. So there's two things about writing that are hard. The first part is starting, and the second part is knowing when to stop writing.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you get started, it's like, okay, I'm in my rhythm now. Something like that zone. You just focused in on that. Yeah. So I encourage you to do that. And I mean, you don't have to do it tomorrow, but start journalizing. You'll see how much easier it is.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'll definitely try to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And
That's just something I've wanted to try anyways, and it definitely is hard just starting, especially
yeah.
for me, because like when I start doing something, I get hyper focused on that
Right.
until it needs to get done, and I have no idea when I would even want to stop. Like,
Well, see, that's the part. Like I say, those are the two hardest points. But
yeah,
I'll send you a copy of my book. And you'll have that one. Then definitely when the new one comes out, send you a copy of that one as well.
but yeah, I'll definitely check that
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Yes. Especially since you like to read, because that's like dinosaur stuff now. Most people, most
Oh yeah,
most adults your age don't like to read. They want to listen to everything.
oh yeah. See, no,
Yeah.
I can't learn by listening. I have to be reading.
Yeah.
That's just the way I learn.
Yeah. Well, Damien, it's been a great conversation with you. I've learned so much about you, and I know your fans have, and some new fans that are coming your way. Definitely keep
Yes,
me
sir.
posted on when the website is up, and when
Definitely
your
will.
next fight is. And I'll welcome you to come back anytime, and definitely continue to be the champion that you are, not just on the mat, but off the mat. And it shows that that's what you're doing.
Thank you,
That's it
man.
for today. Another episode of Willing to Talk About It. Keep your hand on the plow. Keep winning, winner.